Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Transport Canada certifies the Bell 505. Mile-Hi Skydiving wins another court case. Illinois pilots reminded that they must complete state registration. Hello, I'm Christopher C. Odom. It's December 28, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. Transport Canada Civil Aviation has granted type certification to Bell Helicopter for the Bell 505 Jet Ranger X. Unveiled in 2013, the new 5-seat helicopter went from the concept to a successful first flight in 20 months. Since then, the aircraft has flown more than 1,000 flight hours and undergone rigorous testing. Bell reports they have more than 400 letters of intent to purchase worldwide since the initial launch in 2014. The Bell 505 is equipped with the Safran helicopter engine's Arius 2R engine that incorporates the dual-channel full-authority digital engine control. The fully integrated Garmin G1000H flight deck features dual 10.4-inch displays. The aircraft has a cruise speed of 125 knots, a range of 340 nautical miles, and useful load of 1,470 pounds. During the certification ceremony, Bell Helicopter's president and CEO Mitch Snyder said in part, "The Bell 505 is truly a game changer in the short light single market, and we are proud of the excellent team that drove this program through to certification." Here's our latest update in the battle between Colorado-based Mile-Hi Skydiving and an organization known as Citizens for Quiet Skies. Kimberly Gibbs and her Citizens for Quiet Skies acolytes seem to hate Colorado-based Mile-Hi Skydiving. At least that's the only reasonable assumption one might make after reviewing the hundreds of complaints, attacks, falsehoods, and accusations made by her small band of Citizens for Quiet Skies and their years-long effort to shut down the business. As we reported more than a year ago, their legal actions failed and they were left on the hook for fees and legal expenses for an amount well in excess of $100,000. However, that didn't stop them from continuing the legal action by filing an appeal to the most recent finding. Now, the appeal by Citizens for Quiet Skies, which seemed to be little more than a fundraising structure for Gibbs to maintain her attacks on Mile-Hi, was defeated by an appeals court. According to the recent media reports, Gibbs was quoted as stating in part, "We're definitely going to keep going. A&N, as always, will keep you informed." After the break, Illinois resident pilots reminded to pony up their registration fee.
Based on the popular Sling 2 LSA, the Sling 4 was designed to be the most practical and desirable lightweight four-place experimental aircraft on the market. Find out more about this 115 horsepower turbocharged airplane at airplanefactory.com.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Build and fly with the most exciting line of kit aircraft on the market, the Sonex Aircraft B models. The B models offer more room and comfort, more fuel, more panel space, more engine choices, and the same great Sonex aircraft flight characteristics. Learn more at sonexaircraft.com.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. If you'd like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. Just when you think you might know absolutely everything there is to know about aviation, something pops up to remind us that there's some weird stuff out there. We must note that the pilots who live in the Illinois area are required to register with the state government and pay a $10 registration fee every 2 years. The Illinois Department of Transportation reminds pilots that all holders of federal airman certificates engaged in the operation of aircraft in Illinois must complete an application for registration of federal airman certificate within 30 days after establishing residency in Illinois. It appears this fee has been in place since the year 2002. We find it interesting that this fee was put into effect just a few months before the clandestine destruction of Chicago's Meigs Field by the then gangster and chief of Chicago, Mayor Richard M. Daley. The whole thing makes the state of Illinois seem anti-general aviation. With some 3,000 Aero-TV programs webcast to cyberspace, sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
Well, simply put, by changing out one of the magnetos with an electronic ignition system, you get a high-energy tuned ignition system for the engine.
If it seems like our aircraft magneto ignition systems represent outdated technology, you're right. However, it doesn't have to be that way, and in this video, you'll see modern electric technology applied to aircraft engines. Search Electroair's engine upgrades on Aero-TV's news channel. After these messages, the Air Force needs more manpower to meet global demands.
The Bristol Light Sport aircraft is what you are looking for. The Bristol is wider than a Cirrus, faster than a Skyhawk, offers more storage than a Husky, and comes standard with Garmin avionics. So what are you waiting for? Visit Bristol.com to find out how you can get into a Bristol today.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Explore no limits flying in the FAA-certified Sea Ray Amphibious LSA, one of the top 3 best-selling LSAs in the U.S. Progressive Aerodyne Sea Ray comes equipped with a Rotax engine and exhibits extraordinary handling on land, water, and in the air. Check it out at www.searay.com.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing a few of those other great stories in a brief segment we call Around the Badge. Air Force officials explain why the service needs to grow to 350,000 active duty airmen over the next 7 years. They say the increased strength recognizes that the Air Force is out of balance with ongoing and projected global demands for air power. The Academy of Model Aeronautics will host the annual AMA Expo West, presented by at the Ontario Convention Center in Ontario, California, January 6th through 8th. The 3-day event offers the opportunity to learn about, fly, and buy model aircraft and drones. Sonex offers a solution to having all hardware organized and available when building a Sonex B kit airplane. These kits will now be supplied with WB Parts Smart Kits, which are comprised of organized storage and labeled containers including all hardware. Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum has announced the appointment of the retired Air Force Major General John Barry as the CEO of the organization. Barry earlier served as board chairman, where he oversaw major growth in the museum's infrastructure. Southern Avionics and Interiors will be relocating to the HL Sonny Callahan Airport in Fairhope, Alabama. Their new location is a few miles from their current facility located at downtown Mobile Airport. The move consolidates services by the parent company, Continental Motors Group. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now, let's get back to the rest of the news. We reported earlier this month that the Orlando, Florida City Commission had proposed ordinances to control drone operation within the city limits. Now, the commission will take a final vote on its proposed drone ordinance on January 9th after initial passage earlier this month. The ordinance would ban the flight of UAVs of any size within 500 feet of city-owned parks or buildings, schools, stadiums, and theme parks. It would also prohibit flight over any gathering of more than 1,000 people. As we pointed out in our first report, much of this is redundant to already existing federal rules and may ultimately not be within Orlando's power to regulate. Under the proposed ordinance, drone operation while intoxicated would be also prohibited, as well as the use of aircraft as a weapon or for voyeurism. The legislation creates a $20 permit for each flight, or operators can buy an annual permit for $150. For the purely recreational pilot, the legislation would create a drone zone at Bill Frederick Park where flight would be allowed at any time with no permit required. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited stream daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. You got comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Keep flying. We'll see you tomorrow.